he sabido nada de eso, Pili. Yo ayer estaba platicando ahí con un camarada que ahí anda en la bola y dice que le pregunté sobre eso, que este vato dice que pues, según aquí no lo querían, según. Pero también que se venía, ese vato de volada jala un chingo de raza, pues la raza está bien piñada con él. Entonces, pues de volada arma un pinche equipón. Pero realmente no se ha sabido nada. Yo compré el periódico ahorita en la mañana y no venía nada ahí. Esa madre, si fuera cierto, creo yo que si fuera cierto, no hombre, fuera como una bomba aquí. De volada se sabría todo eso. Por las noticias y todo, quién sabe ahí. De información de dónde la agarraron. No, y luego ese vato es bien vivo, compa Philly, ese vato, por eso estaba como donde estaba, ese vato muy vivo. Ese vato no se lo comen muy fácil, está cabrón. Es un pinche zorro, güey.
What's up, guys? JC with Ron Strong, and very sad weekend, man. As you guys know and been watching, Chino Antrax, sister, brother-in-law, and a third person were found in a BMW truck in Sinaloa. So, they said that after a really big gunfight happened, they went into a place and brought 3 people out and, bound their hands, and you know what happens. They're saying that the third person was Chino Antrax's brother. And they're saying that Chino Antrax is, dead. I was actually about to drop a video Monday explaining what I thought about everything that was going on, just because, like I said in the past, I know a couple people that still, are in that world and stuff like that, and they know that I do what I do for, positive reasons and not to gain nothing from it and stuff like that. It's the biggest message is to show these kids, especially, in both sides of the border, here and there, because just because you're born here doesn't mean that you're not acceptable to the stuff that the cartel life brings. You know what I mean? I was born here and I still ended up in Mexico. There's a lot of Chicanos that end up in Mexico working for the cartel. It's a very bad place, and what's going on right now is not good. There is no rules no more. There is no guidelines. Now it's, women, children, innocent bystanders. It is just a free for all. And, back in the day, it was no women, no children. That's not the case no more. And, the thing with Chino is that he had a lot of people that loved him, respected him, and wanted to be around him. He was very, very flamboyant and stuff, but he had charisma and people wanted to be around that. When you're like that, you win over a lot of people, so it makes you very, very dangerous. I'll play this audio for you here in a bit, but the thing is that they were afraid of him going back and pulling a lot of people together because of who he was and how people admired and loved him. Right now, there's a big war that's about to happen in Mexico, and it's going to be over territory. Some of the biggest cartels are going to be involved in it, and it's going to be bad. It's going to be really, really messy. You got El Chapo's sons on one side, you got El Mayo and his people on the other side. His son's about to get out. Then you have the Nueva Generación, that those dudes are not playing. Those dudes are in full motion, not playing, and they have a lot of soldiers, a lot of gunfire. just a lot. They have a big army, and you have all the other smaller cartels that are still trying to survive. And when you're put in that situation where you're the underdog and you're trying to survive, you'll do some drastic stuff, and that's what's happening right now. You know, honestly, I was gonna drop a video on Monday about my two thoughts about Chino, like what was gonna happen. You know, why did he leave? Did he really leave, or was he gonna be put in as a mold, or was he working with the CIA to, you know, let him escape, and then for them to follow him and see where El Mayo is, because they've never been able to find him, and so on and so on. I mean, it was more than 2 cents, but you know what I mean. You know, what did he run because he was scared? Did he go back to join forces with Zambada and, you know, start fighting the war that's about to happen? All these thoughts were going through my head, and then this news just hit me from I mean, how can we expect something like that not to happen? Because usually if they can't get to you, they're going to get to your family. And that's what happened in this case, is that so they got to his family. And I mean, a lot of people are saying that they got him because, so it was reported a real big like gunfight that night. And in that gunfight, they picked up his sister, brother, and brother-in-law. But they're saying that they got Chino and they murdered him. Like, I had messages by the hundreds, and I made a couple of phone calls to some of my people that I know out there, and you know, everybody was telling me the same thing, that if it would have been him, it would have already been out, and it would have exploded. Like, the news would have hit hard, because so many people like that dude. Even though he did what he did, like, there's a reason behind it, and people were they were waiting for him to come back. And like I said, when you're loved like that in that world, it's very, very dangerous, because people don't want to see you take people away and start your own stuff. They rather see you like in jail or in prison. And there's a similar case, and it's part of my story, but it was when, and it's on Gangland if you guys want to check it out so you can see what I mean. There was a gang leader of the SDs that had just got out from doing time, and he was the top dog of the whole thing. And there was a prominent dude, Gizmo, that was raising up in the ranks. He was like taking care of business. People started to love him. I met him a couple of times because he was always at the nation meetings, always taking care of business. And when the top dog got out, he didn't like that. He didn't like that because he was gonna lose his power, and people wanted Gizmo to step up. I actually lived with Valerie in front of the apartment where he was actually set up and gunned down in the gangway. That night, we actually got into a fight at Fort City Mall and got locked up overnight, or they would have probably brought us in for questioning on that case, because literally they gunned him down at like close range. There was like pieces of hair on the fence and on the floor. Like, it was not cool. It was bad. And it was over the same thing, you know, a power trip, you know, not wanting to split the pie with nobody else. And that's what my biggest thing that I know kind of happened over there in Sinaloa, is that if Chino would have went back and took back what actually belonged to him because he earned it. Yes, he cooperated. Yes, you know, we don't know what's going on in this game right now. We don't know who's involved. You know, there's a lot of speculations about the government being involved, about this person, about that person. I read the book from Zambada's son, you know, and there's so many speculations about, you know, all this stuff going on. So we really don't know all the, you know, turns and speeds of all this that's going on. But what I do know is that it is a billion-dollar industry where you're making $200 billion a year. You think that big people are not going to get involved? Like big people? I find that hard to believe. I find that really hard to believe. And for armies to be formed, like from day to night, just like La Nueva Generación did, just like all these cartels did, there's more to it. There's more to it. And if they did catch them, they, you know, probably did take him out. And, you know, my condolences go to him and all his family, and, you know, for his sister and brother-in-law. But if they didn't, and he's still out there, and they did this, something is going to happen. You know, there's going to be a lot of like revenge being seeked. And this is what I mean, guys, about that world is not what it's cut out to be. This is what I mean when I say, you know, stay away from that. It is no good. It just like it happened to him, it could happen to anybody. Just like, you know, if you look at El Mencho's story, you know, he started just like the rest of us from the bottom, you know, selling, distributing, you know, coming to America, coming back to Mexico. And then he ended up being one of the biggest, you know, cartel leaders right now with La Nueva Generación. And that's the thing, is that sometimes we are so thirsty for, you know, what we didn't have and what we want, that we focus on the wrong things. And that's the thing, is that if we were to put a little bit of effort and just that same kind of attitude into like something legit, it would actually like work, and you would do actually something positive where you don't have to watch over your shoulder and be afraid that someone's going to take you out, or your family, or hurt you, and or none of that stuff. Like it is the right thing to do. And when you do what's right, good things happen. Yes, a lot of good people have bad stuff happen to them because it's called life. And, you know, one of my biggest mentors that I listen to he says that 80% of people don't care what happened to you, and 20% is glad that it's you, not them. So, you know, it's all about choices in life, man. And that's one of my biggest things that I push on my channel and my message. Everything is that if you live hard, you know, life is easy. If you live easy, life is hard. And it has a lot of consequences, because karma is always out there waiting to collect and waiting to take back what's hers. And that's the thing, man. So, you know, stay tuned. I'm going to drop a couple more videos this week. This whole thing screwed up my whole, you know, schedule of what I was going to drop. Like I said, on Monday, I was going to drop the video about what I thought, my 2 cents is, you know, about everything that's going on. And Tuesday, I was going to drop my video about the gang wars that are happening in Chicago right now with the SDs and the Saints. And, you know, this week actually, I'm going to drop 1 video per day. It's starting to get a little bit more stuff going on, so I have to keep up with everything. So, yeah, guys, you know, I tell you guys, this is not a cooking channel. This is the real deal. And it's like when they asked all those rappers why they sang the songs that they sing, because they're so full of curse words and drugs and all this. This is why I do my channel, because this is reality. This is what's happening. And this is what most Chicanos are growing up in: the hood, gangs, cartel, drugs, murder. All these things are happening in our neighborhoods. So someone has to tell the story in order to get some of these kids out of it and away from that lifestyle, because it never ends well. My name's JC. I am Wrong Strong. Don't judge nobody. Give somebody a hug Stay in your lane. Live savage. And remember, life is short. Live it to the fullest, because if you live it right, one life is all you need. I'll check you guys out.